Well, Darryl Pilgrim, a man who really hit the headlines here at the Super Series on Tuesday with some astonishing stuff. Darryl, before we get into that, I just want to know a bit more about you and your background. I'm sure people are very interested to know where a player who can produce that kind of thing has come from. So just tell us where it all started, your kind of map way into darts.
Well, I first started when I was about 8 years old. My dad was always a pretty decent player. Just started playing with him. And then just carried on, sort of thing, just progressing through the stages. It's just taken me this many years to get to it.
And where's that? Is that in London?
Yeah, well, like Croydon, so South London sort of thing, yeah.
Hence the shirt that you wear as well now. Big Crystal Palace fan?
Yeah, big one.
Are you hoping for more success on the darts hockey that they've had on the football pitch recently?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
In terms of, as you said, it may have taken a while to get to where you are in your career now. Where would you say you are in your career now?
That's a very good question, to be honest. I feel good. Obviously, I feel like it's the best I've ever been in my career. But it's just still about taking that next step.
In terms of how you approach the game, both sort of technically and mentally, how would you describe yourself as a player?
I just try and take it as easy as possible. So if you think too much about it, that's when things can go wrong.
And in terms of your career, obviously we know you're playing some Pro Tours, some Challenge Tours. Interestingly, a massive average on the Pro Tour. I think last year had you top of the Order of Merit for a while, or top of the Dart Connect stats for a while. So you know that game's in there. What's it been like for the last few years, knowing that game's in there, but obviously if you were producing that consistently, then you'd be winning the Challenge Tour, winning loads of Challenge Tour titles, etc. Yeah,
it's always about consistency. So many top players can do it here, there and everywhere, but it's doing it like the top players, doing it every game, which is the hardest thing to do.
I just want to talk about your journey here at the Super Series a little bit now, because you've, particularly since we've moved to Portsmouth, but even before that as well, you've been a key part of it. You've been in some of the most important matches that we've had here, big finals nights on Champions Weeks. Just tell us a little bit about your experiences here and what it's done for you as a player.
Oh yeah, playing in this has helped massively. Even when it first started back in Southampton, when you're playing such quality players like 4 or 5 times a day, day in, day out, it just improves your game so much. And
let's go to, well, first of all, let's go to the Champions Week that you played in Portsmouth here. I think it was semi-final defeat, wasn't it? Has that sort of frustrated you a little bit? Have you got a determination? Because I'm sure that the aim is to get a tour card and not be here next year or the year after, but would it be sort of justice for you? Do you feel like you deserve to win one of these before you move on?
Well, yeah, as you say, from Tuesday, I've definitely got the game in me again, but it's just doing it every sort of game or most of the time. But yeah, I definitely would like to win one of them.
Let's talk about Tuesday then. Monday in this group, really good quality group, fast players. It looked like it was going to be a really big fight to the finish. And then you turn up on Tuesday, you're playing decent stuff, but then suddenly you play Scott Taylor, we'll start there, hit a 9-darter, end up averaging 118.88. That's the highest average we'd ever had at that point. We'll come on to the next bit in a moment. But when you came off after that game, what were your emotions like? Because at the end of the day, you broke a record, you've hit a 9-darter, but ultimately you've lost the match.
Yeah, I mean, I was buzzing with the 9-darter. It did take a bit of the sting off after losing with 118. Otherwise, I think I would have been more fuming if I hadn't hit 9-darter. But yeah, I had a quick turnaround because I only had one game off, so just keep it going. I was throwing nice. So I just want to keep it going.
And is that what you did? Literally go in the practice room and just kept the arm going ready for the next match?
Yeah, I think I sat down for maybe 1 or 2 minutes, but I knew I'd be straight back on in about 10 minutes, so there wasn't much time. So just got straight back on the practice board.
And then you were back on in sort of 10, 15 minutes. So in the spell of half an hour, you'd done that, and then you walk up, win your next match 4-0, average 122.69, absolutely smashing the record that you just set not long before. I could see you on the stage looking up to the monitor up there to see what the average was. What was the feeling when you found out actually what you'd achieved?
Yeah, because I knew it was good. I wasn't sure it was going to be as high as that, to be honest. But it was like, oh, hopefully at least match the previous game, but it's a win as well this time.
And players talk about, it is all about winning. At the end of the day, you get 2 points for a win, whether you average 122 or 22. But does it make it extra special? Is it a different feeling when you've gone up there and achieved something like that?
Yeah, I mean, you see it like from the TV and that the big averages get noticed the most. A win's a win, obviously. I'd rather average not as much and win every game, but those big averages do seem to get noticed a lot more.
Absolutely. And before you even came here this week, you won your first challenge to a title as well. Is it a sign that that has actually given you a little bit of something more?
Yeah, I'll say so, yeah, because I've been wanting to win one for ages, and then finally, and I played really well that day as well. To finally get that winning one was really good, and just carried it on into this.
I always sort of want to ask this question when you see a player do what you did yesterday. What is actually going through your head while you're playing? Are you feeling like you're almost in this invincible bubble and you can't miss?
Yeah, so you just try and blank it out, because if you think I'm going to do this every throw and then you don't do it one throw, that's when it can start dropping off. But yeah, just try to carry on, just throw smoothly, and hopefully I go.
Just a little bit about the attention as well. I'm sure you've had plenty of messages, and obviously it's gone quite big on social media.
Yeah.
What's that been like since it happened on Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean, my phone didn't stop from it. It was ridiculous, really, but it's good to see, to be fair.
I know that obviously it's a really short format here at the Super Series, 4 legs, but when you think about it, if you'd have added the 2 matches together, that was 10 legs, and combined you'd have still broken the record average. So what does that say to you about actually the potential of sustaining an enormously high level when you need to, and how does that bode for the future?
Yeah, so it's all about consistency, because the higher you want to go in this game, the longer the format, so you need to do it over the long. So yeah, to do it over that length of time instead of just doing it like 1 leg here, 1 leg there, or one short game here. Yeah, again, it's all down to consistency.
What are your plans now? Obviously, you've shown glimpses of what you can do. You've hit higher averages than the vast majority of darts players that have ever thrown a dart. But what are your sort of plans now? And is it about keeping your feet on the ground, or have you got enormous ambitions to go and be the best in the world?
Yeah, obviously I want to be ambitious. I've got a bit of time off soon, which luckily my wife is supporting me with, to try and focus on it 110% and see where I can go. But yeah, obviously I've got. Hopefully I can sneak in some more Pro Tours soon. I've got another Euro Tour coming up in October, another Challenge Tour weekend. So there's still a lot to go this year, a lot to keep going.
And more big averages, and maybe a trophy lift here at the Super Series.
Yeah, that'd be very nice.
Well, just finally, you certainly gave us and our viewers the most memorable half an hour that we've experienced. Is that the greatest 30-minute spell that you've had in your darting life?
Oh yeah, definitely. No question. Yeah, this is literally the best I've ever thrown in that space of time.
Well, it was an absolute pleasure to watch. Pleasure to talk to you today. Thank you very much, Darryl.
Cheers. Thank you.
See, you haven't seen the 3 bulls yet.
But can Pilgrim finish in style? Finish with a flourish.
Game,
and Mr. P's perfect week has his fairy tale ended.